Joined now by Cape Breton Eagles forward Jacob Newcombe. Jacob, what are your thoughts on the second half thus far for yourself and for your Eagles?
I thought the second half's been pretty good. I adjusted well with the team. The guys were great welcoming me, and I thought I've been having a pretty good, consistent second half, and we're just trying to put ourselves in a good position here going into playoffs.
You start the season with Chicoutimi, your second year in the Q. You get traded to Cape Breton. What was your response upon finding out you'd be traded to the Eagles?
It was a little emotional at first, but once I got here, like I said, the guys were great and it was easy to adjust. I was a lot closer to home, so that helped as well. I've been enjoying it so far. I'm sure that will continue.
Your first career hat-trick in the QMJHL was a great story in Halifax. Just tell us a little bit about a special night for you there last season.
Yeah, I think that was my first game in Halifax there, my hometown, and to be able to get a hat-trick there in front of, I don't know how many people were there, but lots of families and friends. It was a pretty crazy, special moment for me to be able to get a hat trick there, so I'll always remember that one.
And some hats thrown on the ice too, even though you were a visiting player?
Yeah, there was a couple hats, probably from the people that I knew at the game, but that was pretty cool to see.
Your first game in the rink closest to your hometown is the first hat trick you get. That's pretty great. You actually attended Ottawa Senators training camp as a free agent this past off-season. Tell us about that experience, a brush with the NHL.
Yeah, I got an invite to Ottawa, their rookie camp. That was really exciting for me. That was a great experience. It's always a dream, right? To be able to get a chance to try out. So that was a great experience for me, and I'll always remember that one. You're treated like NHL players there, and it's just a great experience.
You were drafted in 2020 into the QMJHL. Did you have an opportunity to try out for the Sags? Your would have been rookie season, because I know teams had limitations and whatnot. Just to walk us through your 16-year-old season, and then subsequently being in the league all-star team when you came back to U18 in Nova Scotia.
I went to Chicoutimi there to try out. I didn't end up making it. I was one of the last forwards to be cut. That was an introduction to the league, and I knew what I had to do to be able to play in that league. I went back home with the Halifax McDonald's there. It was a great year for my development. Came back my 17-year, cracked the roster. Coming back to Halifax, I think that was a good decision for me, and it worked out in the end.
You know, you wear an A part of the time in Cape Breton, and you also have one in Chicoutimi prior to the trade. How much does it mean to wear a letter for both teams that you played for this year?
It's always an honor to be able to be recognized as a leader, and I'm happy when people look at me that that's the type of person they see in me. Just continue to conduct myself the way that I do and be professional about it. Just help be a leader in the dressing room and off the ice. You're
big into fishing, and that's indirectly helped your hockey career as well. Tell us about your fishing exploits in the off-season.
Yeah, in the summertime, I try to get out lobster fishing just with some family friends. I grew up on the water. I've been around boats my whole life. I love being on the water. It's always nice to help people out in the community. So if they need a hand, I'm always there to lend it. I love being out on the water.
And that's helped pay for some of your hockey too, I understand.
Yeah, mostly sticks. In the past, I had the chance to earn money working. Some of that money I'd buy sticks because you know how expensive they are nowadays. Yeah, that helped buying sticks for sure.
Last couple of games, the Eagles have had a consistent formation in terms of lines, and you found yourself playing with Olivier Hood and Charles Boutin. What do you like about that combination? Has that worked out well for you?
Yeah, I think the past couple of games that we played together, it's worked really well. I thought we brought a lot of offense and energy when the team needs it. Two smart players, two hard-working players. We forecheck well. We always seem to find each other, so it's been good chemistry there so far, so we'll just try to continue that here.
Eagles recently brought back the 7th player program, and your brother Colby was actually 7th player next to you. How cool was that to have him standing with you on the blue line just before a game?
Yeah, it's always fun to have the kids there, and they love it. I was that kid at one point, so it's always nice to have them come out and have that moment for them, and I'm sure they enjoy it.
Eagles got a big win at the end of the first part of the Quebec road trip in Blainville-Boisbriand. You had the winning goal 35 seconds into the game. That is actually a franchise record going back to the Sorel days, all the way back to 1969. Were you aware of the significance of that goal, and have you ever scored a faster game-winning goal at any point in your hockey career?
No, I was not aware of that record, and that was probably the fastest winning goal I've ever scored in a game. I guess that's pretty cool.
But if I remember correctly, you scored even faster into the third period of that game, correct?
It was the first shift, so yeah, they would have been pretty close together.
We noticed Elite Prospects had you listed as both a wing and a center. We've seen you play in the wing in Cape Breton. Did you play a lot of center growing up, or was that a typo perhaps?
It's been left winger or center really growing up. It was probably more a centerman growing up in my younger years. I played center with the Halifax McDonald's. I tried center when my first year was Chicoutimi, and winger was just a better fit for me, and that helped me create more offense as well. So I stuck with winger the past couple of years, and that seems to work well for me.
You kind of touched on it already, but the last thing I'll ask is, if somebody hadn't seen you play before, how would you describe yourself as a player?
Hardworking, work ethic. I try to play a 200-foot game, make good defensive plays, and lead that into offense. See the ice pretty well.
Very good characteristics to have for sure. We look forward to seeing you continue to develop, Jacob. Thanks for this, and best of luck the rest of the season.
All right, thanks again, Pat.
That is Cape Breton Eagles forward Jacob Newcombe joining us at the intermission. You're listening to Cape Breton Credit Union Eagles Hockey, 12-7 CJCB.